I'm Doug. In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to install the software that makes the animation scene at visualphysics.org. So what we need to do first, though, is find out whether you're even familiar with the command line. If you're not really familiar with that, you probably shouldn't bother with this software because it relies on the very same ideas. And that is that you have a lot of small programs like ls that list things, and you can take those results and pipe them in another small program like word count and find out very quickly that there are 68 files here. You can also do things like count the number that begin with the word L. Oh, there's only one. So the power of the command line is really demonstrated by the fact that this software has been around since the 1970s, which in computer years is like 100,000 years old. So I really believe that's a very strong way to go, and so we're going to create a lot of software here that just does one thing with a quaternion, but it allows it to pass its results onto the next program that can do another thing to a quaternion, pass those results onto a third little program, and finally into a program called QGraph that then makes the animations. So I'll presume that you are a fan of the command line, but then you have to make sure on your computer that you're going to install this on that you have a program called POVRay, or Point of View Ray, and you can find out whether it's there already by just asking if what its version is, and if it comes back with something, that's a great sign. If not, then you will have to do some work, more work if you're on a PC or a Macintosh. If you're in Linux, you just do an apt-get install POVRay, and you should be almost set. Why almost? Because there is some security issues to deal with, and let me just show you that so you don't spend too much time there. There's this POVRay comp file, so let's just look into there, and we can find two security issues. The first dealing with file I/O security. Make sure it's set to none instead of restricted, which is the default on Ubuntu, and shellout security is allow. Alright, so consider that done. Then you say, okay, where's my cursor? Okay. Then you say, alright, let's get the software. So we hit the downloads, and it says the downloads are here, so let's click on that, and that is going to bring us over to SourceForge, which are the good folks that are sponsoring this website. And so I guess we got to click some more, click on download, and then there are a variety or possibly a variety of different sorts of things, but I really only have the great tarball. So I click on the tarball, and it says let's save that thing, and it's giving me a choice of where I want to save it. I don't really want to save it there. I want to save it back home. And so where should I put it on? I don't know. Put it in temp? Let's put it in temp. Oh look, I've already got one there. Alright, so I'll just save it there. And I've got this bouncy thing. This is Conqueror. I guess they find that's really entertaining. 9%, 10. Actually, a lot of this stuff I think is image files. there are a bunch of image files that come along with it, so that it doesn't have to redraw everything. If you just use the default values, they'll say, hey, I've already drawn that once, and so I'm not going to draw that like 100 times again. But having that in a variety of sizes, that can take up a little space. So the downloads happen. As I say, you're getting source code. That means you're going to need to compile it on your own computer, and there are instructions, because you're supposed to have instructions. Not that everybody doesn't do that, but watch the progress bar. So this is happening real time. Doesn't it feel like real time? Like you're going, that's totally boring, but actually, why don't we CD over here to CD to temp, and we can see that it's part way through. %. We're so close. Alright, fini. Alright, and if we do the ls again, we can see, alright, it's gone. Alright, so let's do the tar ZXF. So Z's for the GZ, the X is to extract, and the file is now command line quaternions. Oh, you can see I had an earlier version, 06, but we're doing the more modern version. And boom! And if we do that again, we can see we've got a directory there, so that's CD there. 01, 07. Alright. And we've got our install instructions, and so if we take a look at install, /configure make test and install. Most excellent. So that's totally standard. So configure actually goes and checks what kinds of software is there, and then it writes it all out, making those various make files. And then you do make, and make is using GCC to make a whole bunch of very little programs. You can see these things like conjugates and atans and norms and tans and vectors and addition, subtraction, bunch of multiplication. You're getting a lot of things, a lot of little programs, and more for in the future. Okay, so the next thing we do is make test. I put in a lot of effort to ooh, look at that. That was the one to make the graphy thing. But every program actually has to have a program that does this testing, and that way I know I'm putting good stuff out on the world, and you can prove that it actually works on your computer. This is actually this one might not. This is I came up with three ways to do graphs. Pavre is the one that's got the 3D kind of look to it, but also GNU Plot and ImageMagick. And if you don't have those on your computer, don't be upset if that actually doesn't work for you. Also, ignore these unable to open file. It's a little spurious bug. But this is the key point. You see, we actually pass 201 tests. I mean, is that cool or what? So that's a very good sign. So we can use the software as is. You can CD to the source, and this is where they all are kind of living. But it's much more convenient to make install. So we'll do that. And ooh, all right. So the reason that was more convenient is you'll also be able to, so you might have noticed there are a bunch of man pages, which if you're using the command line, you know what that means. So every program has a man page to describe kind of how it works. So that's all very good. So you say, okay, I've installed it, but I want to see something. All right, so let's do that. Let's go back to Visual Physics. All right, and let's just pick something that looks pretty or pretty crazy. That looks pretty crazy. So here we have the summary statement. Over long periods of time and with small changes in space, assigning cosine functions make spirals. This is really weird. Well, you notice it goes in a dead straight line, which is kind of cool. But say, I'm not going to think about it very much. I just want to make it. All right, so, come on, grab her. I'm having trouble grabbing this text. Oh, I got most of it. All right, good. Oh, I don't want that part. All right, so let me try one of those two. Okay, so now I go over to my command line. Come on, stop being crazy. Okay, let me complete that word there. So let me take a look at this thing. Okay, what is this? Okay, so we've got QGraph. All right, that is the that's the key part, the program for making pictures. It says loop. Okay, so that says I want to continuously go in a loop. The box says how big it is. Oh, there's got to be a directory for this thing to go to called VP. I bet I don't have that. Alright, so let me just control A, make dir VP. Alright, so anyway, let's paste that thing back in. Alright, it's going to output a thing called sine cosine 50t, and then it's got this command here which is qaddn, so it's going to add a whole bunch of numbers 2,000 times. So it's adding this small number to this number, and hopefully this all makes sense. We got, and it's coloring that one yellow, and then we're having another command, and that one's being colored red. And then we have a third command going into a cosine, and that cosine right there, and that one's being colored blue. So we just hit the return. Oh! And it says, it says that I haven't yet figured out quite how to install the Perl modules in quite the right place. So that's a bug that I need to deal with. So let's just go here and run that thing, and I think it can find make dir VP. Alright, I think it can sorry, I think it can find it from there. Okay, so it's just going to take I don't know, 5-10 minutes to draw that. That's a different video, but at least you can see that the software that I downloaded was able to kind of start this animation software. And I think the most important thing though is that if you want to make a new animation, the best thing to do is start with some of these animations that are on visualphysics.org and do variations on them. It's like, you know, go ahead and make a sign in pointing in a different direction, and just start playing with it and have some fun. All right, thank you very much.